You couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat.
Hello builders, it's Torondor the Builder here. I have fixed my internet problems, or else the great gods at Cox Cable have. And so the video that I had intended to record and post last night, I can now post. So this is just going to be a quick, I guess kind of a let's build or a let's build and this is going to be a water tower that works, and it's sort of a work in progress, as I will show you here shortly. So let's take a look and then we'll get to building. Alright, so number one, here is our water tower. Now, when I was a kid growing up, my dad had, actually my dad still has, Lionel trains, little model trains, and every year at Christmas time they would get set up in our bedroom. My brothers and my bed, they could be bunked, so we, had our regular beds turn into bunk beds, and we had our trains that would come out and get set up in our room, and it was great because I could look down on them because I always had the top bunk because I was the oldest. So yeah, so it was great. And one of my favorite pieces was the water tower, and there's always a water tower that the train would pull up alongside, and you'd pop in, the little arm would come down, and water would flow out of it. Well, okay, it was supposed to. It was plastic. It was pretend, but still, that's how it was supposed to work, and it was for the old steam engines. Well, I've been trying to make one in Minecraft that did not look completely stupid, and the reason I say that is because obviously I could, the ideal one would have a spout, and I would have a spout because it would, come out over top of the rail tracks, but I really don't like the way anything looks, and I try not to build things that are that big. So this is my version of a smaller one, but there was one key aspect to it that I wanted to be able to do. I wanted to be able to actually have the water drain out. In other words, I wanted you to be able to, if this was in a creative map or something, I wanted, there to be the ability for the water not just to drain out, but then for you to empty the water tower, essentially. So, as we will find if you come over here and flick the switch, the water does in fact drain out, and it is empty inside. It is empty. Yes, it is. Now, and it's still empty. Now, obviously, one of the ideal things would be to refill it after you close it. I have that kind of working over here. The trick is, when I go show you how we build that, this is a little more bulky, and it is limited to the number of buckets in the dispenser. But as you can see, well, sorry, I guess I should actually have this able to flow out, huh? How about like that? There we go. And voila, and it flows out. And if you hit it again, oh look, and there's more. Now obviously, like that one over there, I actually have a gate or a valve at the bottom to keep it from simply flowing out. But it operates under the same principle. What I would essentially have is another piston operating another block there at the bottom, and it would continue to do that. So again, it's relatively simple. You have a piston at the top, a piston at the bottom, and what you need simply is a dispenser on an alternating circuit. In other words, when that's closed, that one, when that's closed, that one does not dispense. So it's not until after it opens that it dispenses. Yeah. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick look and get started on this build. All right. All right, here we are. This is a decent flat spot, even though it's a little snowy. I think we'll build right here. We're inside of our other one, so just in case we have any issues. Whoops. Yeah, we're not trying to broadcast on Twitch. No, I have not yet tried to get into that. But yeah, so anyway. All right, so the key to this, I made mine a it is essentially 7 blocks wide by 7 blocks deep, or actually 6 blocks deep. But one of the key things is that you can certainly make it. We're actually going to go ahead and start with the centermost block, and we're just going to come up here. Actually, going to come up here kind of high, and we're going to start. We're just going to start by basically going and building a. Oops. You don't have to do it like this. But I like to be able to get an idea of what it is that I'm building. So, 2, and we'll say we'll leave the bottom of it there. 4, 5. Now, really, it's already getting nighttime. My goodness. The key to this is that you can actually build it as tall as you would like, whether it's the overall height, or if it is simply a matter of how tall you make the legs. Like, you can actually extend the barrel of this up higher if you want, or you can actually go ahead and build it that big. Oops. Now, 1, 2, 3. So as you can tell, it's roughly a 7 by 5. It's about 5 across and about 7 deep. Now, what you can tell that I did over here, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I guess I should say it's more like 6, but with 1 off the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Better. That 1 off the back is really kind of just for looks, if you will. That's essentially designed to give you just a little bit of rounding out of the sides, because we're not really trying to make an actual container for water. I have seen them. I've tried to make them where they're actually all full of water, which does work, in the sense that you can actually have one where water will flow out of it. However, what you will not have is you will not have water that actually drains out of it completely. So just keep that in mind, and you'll be happy. All right. Now, I lined mine with lapis because it's blue. It blends in with the water. It's kind of the idea. You don't have to do that, certainly. But whatever you decide to do, make it your own. Now, believe it or not, a lot of the rest of this is going to be either hollow, or it is going to be utilized to make the inner workings, which will include some of those guys. So let's see here. Trying to remember exactly how I did this. One of the things we can do while we're working all that out, I actually, it looks like I came down a bit further in the front than the back. Now, actually, I think I came in like this, didn't I? Whoops. Yep. Now, I went ahead and used a different color. I used the darker wood on my bottom trim, because whoops, that's not really how that goes. There we are. I did that in part because I like the idea that it's a darker wood, that it is somehow made wet, dark, because it's wet from basically being in touch with water, or because it's been treated with something, some sort of pitch or some other waterproof material. You can kind of use whatever you would like that gives you that effect, I mean, you can of course use nothing of the sort if that's what you like. But anyway, okay, so there we have our top piece. Whoops, nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that in there. All right, now before we go too much further, we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and put on the outside. So, now a lot of this stuff is decorative. Oops, not quite so far down. You certainly don't have to do this. I decided that I did not like the rectangular look. It was a little too rectangular for me. That's why I came on the outside here like this and put these pieces. I actually put them on after I was done all that. Um, let's see. What else do I need? Oh, well, darn. Well, all right. Hold on. I went and got rid of the lapis block before I was ready. Because that should really be there and there and there. And then this guy can be the one that opens, right? Actually, I think I have it like that. And there we go. All right. Now, pretty sure that's it. Now, the rest of this on the inside is going to be a little bit tricky. Not a lot tricky, but a little bit tricky. So we're not going to get to that just yet. Actually, I think what we'll do is I can open it up from the back. There we are. Really? Oh my gosh. This map has been the worst for me for weather. It really has. Now I'm going to enclose this just like that, because what it'll do is it'll give me platforms that I can lay things on without actually causing a problem, without actually having a full-size block there. All right. Now the one thing to me that I really like about these is the legs. And the legs, there's a couple different ways you can do the legs. Obviously, you can do them in a couple different varieties. You could, if it's not too far from the ground, if it's not too beefy looking, you can certainly go and use whatchamacallit legs, fence posts. I prefer not to use fence posts because mine's a little bit beefier, and I want it to actually look like it this could really be supported in some way, shape, or form. However, the other thing, and I've said this to you guys before, this is one of those cases where I like to use the jungle wood wrap. Now, tell me that does not look like two logs that are held together with some sort of rope or lashing or something like that. It really does. I don't care who you are. I don't, but it does. Don't lie to me, man. I know these things. I'm an engineer. Trust me. Just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, I really do like that, and like it even to the point of normally I would have them say side by side. In this case, I did put them on the diagonal. You can put them side by side. I like them kind of on a diagonal because it helps to kind of pop this out, and not have it be quite so, if they were side by side, it would look a little too tall and skinny, like it would get blown over in the wind. And we don't want it to get blown over in the wind. So, whoops. I'm on the wrong spot. Okay. Is that too high? Yes, it is. Get rid of that. There we go. Now again, it's Minecraft. Do you really need these legs? No, technically you don't. I mean, after all, would it stay up there otherwise? Of course it would. You could have it floating in outer space. But that's just weird. And that's not what proper builders do. So don't be a boring builder, but also don't be a weirdo builder either. If you're going to build a floating space platform, that's okay, but just make it look like it's a floating space platform and not, something like a water tower that's supposed to feed the trains. So, okay. And one more, and I think that's it. Is that it? Oh, darn. There we go. Eh. And that's good, and that's not so good, and there we go. Okay, two more, and we're done. Now, I went ahead and capped these because I don't like the ends of my wood to remain open. To me, it makes them susceptible to termites and water pooling and ponding on them and getting all sorts of rot in it. As a matter of fact, you can even cap them at both ends. I did not cap them at both ends over there, but hey, you can. It would actually be kind of neater still if I had different colors of these. You could try something else, something that was in the polished granite range or something like that. That might be neat. Or quartz, except the white, I don't know. Maybe if you had the legs made out of something different. But other than that, yeah, I don't know about that. So, all right. Now, the only other thing that I really had on the outside, other than I had ladders, I did use the nether brick fence. Um, sorry, ladders. Because after all, we got to be able to get up there, and you got to have ladders all over this thing. I did actually put. Where is it? Oh, whoops. My apologies. I had it like this. I forgot these pieces because a lot of water. Oh, gotta go to the top. That's what I'm forgetting. Time's at 0. There we go. Bring on the daylight. All right. One of the other things that a lot of water towers will have is different bits of extraneous piping. Whether it's pressure relief valves or a monitoring gauge piping or some such thing. Can be all sorts of stuff. But no matter what, it's got to be installed there properly, right? So let's go ahead. Now we're going to actually wait to put the water in there. All right, not just yet. But for right now, I think that about does it. At least in terms of the graphics and the graphical representation. I did not put a torch at the top. I actually put a redstone torch because, let's face it, that kind of looks like something of that nature. Kind of looks like one of those little lights you find on top of a tower, or a cell phone tower or something along those lines. So, all right, I'm gonna wait to close that in. Now, just so you see, I wanted to go ahead and show you the way I did that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this back piece out. All right. It was easier to show you, trust me. All right. So now the key in here is that our switch, and now if you can figure out a way to put it someplace else, if you want to extend your redstone down here somewhere, you can. You can rig it up so that it sits right down there if you want. But for mine, that's odd. Oh, whoops. Of course. It's not going to work like that because it needs a wee bit of that. Now, ta-da! And it will, oh goodness, what did it do? Oh, well, that's why. See, yes, I was right. Break that. Actually, that is why I shouldn't have needed that. I was wondering, why is it not working? Because That's actually supposed to be right there. That's why. And, I mean, technically I could just go with a half block. I don't want to do that, though. There we go. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay, so now that's the bottom. Now the key is to get it up to the top. Now, what I did, and I will go ahead and show you over here. Let's strip this guy off. The key in part is the sequencing, because as you can see, this is a series of blocks with these guys on top that, whoops, when you set them they flip. And actually there's another block right, where is it? There it is. You can see that's got the redstone torch in there. That's what powers that top piston. So you have to have all those things in there. And believe it or not, the actual, like I said, the sequence does matter. So what we really need, see, now that guy is going to go. All right. We can actually go ahead and fill that in, because what you're going to want is just a series of these going up. Now hopefully I didn't extend this up too far. Let's see, on, off, okay. And darn it, I think I did mess it up. Yep, I did. Oh wait, nope, maybe that does work. Oh no, that's right, because we need, let's see, we need it to be an alternate circuit, right? So we, in other words, when we need this one to be open when this one is closed, and vice versa. And right now that one is, oddly enough, open, or closed rather. Alright, hold on, I'm going to pause it for a second and figure out what I did. Okay, builders, I think I figured part of it out, at least. Because of the way I have this rigged up in the back, using that stacked series of torches, and given where the two pistons are and how they have to be operated, at least for purposes of this demo, you really need to have an odd number of, why is that not blue? An odd number of windows. So we are actually going to go up by one. Eh. 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 Okay. Yeah, and I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna put in a lapis block. I do apologize. I hope that you are satisfied. And we're going to take out a whole set of these. And yes, and again, I do apologize. I forgot that that's one of the things that I had worked out when I was working all of this together. There we go. Unfortunately, that also means that this is going to go up. Ha 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 ha. Oops. There we are. And we'll go there. Okay. So, definitely not my forte, redstone. We all know that. And but I hope that you can at least appreciate that I'm not just going to leave you hanging. I am trying to figure out how to do it right. Yeah, redstone is definitely a strange thing, because it's what is what is affected by it and what is not affected by it, and how, and that's not the right block. Can be very, very strange to me. Just in how it proceeds. It's like It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna power this block, but I'm not gonna power this block unless you put me on top or on bottom, and then no, maybe yes, no, kind of, sorta. So, and a yay. All right, so there we have it, folks. Now we have that. Actually, whoops, we don't want that. We're gonna go. There we go. Obviously, not two of them. No, definitely not. And we're going to put that across the bottom, and that across the bottom there, that across the bottom there, and that across the bottom there. And then, again with the weather, oh my goodness. I tell you what, seriously, I do not know what version of Minecraft this was constructed under, but holy moly. Alright, now, oops, now, of course, we have to make that a full-size block. Meh. Ah, yes, of course. It would help if there was actually a torch there. Haha, now there is. Now we'll set that on top, and we'll make a torch there. Alright, so here we have, this guy is open, and the bottom guy is closed. Okay? And we hit our switch. That bottom guy is open. The top guy is closed. Okay, so what that means, as you can soon see, is we're going to get out our bucket of water, and we will put the bucket in the water. Now this is something you would have to set up ahead of time, and then when you basically go and hit the switch, the water flows out of the top, and because it has no source block, see, the source block is taken away by that piece right there that the piston closes. It essentially drains out the entire thing. Now, like I said, I did start working on how to go and add in just a bit of reloading, if you will. Oops, sorry. And the rest is, as they say, just all cake and icing, which we're going to go ahead and ice up right now. But that way, there you go. I mean, that's all there is to it. You actually don't even need those. We're going to put that there just because it's easier. Put that there because it's easier. And bam. And there you have it. I mean, that's it. That's it's not a very difficult build. You know, if you want, like, I added a little bit to it. I put the cobblestone blocks at the bottom. This is my water pipe going in that you know, loads it up, if you will. Again, I'll pretend it's Minecraft. It's pretend. Maybe I'll come back and revisit this at least once I figure out a compact way of getting the signal up to the top and putting in a dispenser, because essentially where we want the dispenser would be right there. So if we could get that dispenser right there and wire it up, maybe coming up out of the top and over the top, yeah, that would be pretty cool. So, all right. So again, thanks for watching, and yeah, I appreciate it. You know, if you have any ideas of how to keep myself lit, there we go. Yeah, if you have any ideas, things you'd like to see, I can certainly do bigger builds. They typically get chopped up into pieces, and you know, but we can certainly do those. I wouldn't mind doing maybe a large lava forge or something along those lines. But you know, whatever you would like to see, just let me know, and we'll go from there. All right. So have fun, and look forward to seeing you guys on the BD12 server. Those of y'all that have been watching me there, it's been good to meet all of you. I understand that there are some things on the server that I have to go and take a look at. Not just things that have been built, but actually things that people have left and done in my area. So I have to go check that out. Oh, hello. Sorry, I did not finish you over here. There we go. There we go. Always glad to help a friend. All right. So don't forget putting weeds and flowers around it. Make sure they have a ladder to get up and maintain it. You can put paintings on here. You can put banners. Make it your own. Just make sure you have that proper aircraft protection in the event that there's low-flying helicopters or people in creative mode flying around. All right. So thanks very much for watching. And oh, hey, yeah, and don't forget, I don't work for ECS anymore. I work for Dominion. So there's the big blue D on my safety vest. So brought to you by your friendly neighborhood power company. And no, they did not sponsor this ad. I just happen to work for them. All right. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.